Beautiful life. Hello, it's the tall ships race in Falmouth. When did the ships actual race?
Honestly, I have no idea, nothing to do with me.
What's your name? What do you
My
do?
name is Will. I'm Falmouth Uncovered,
Yes.
which is historical walking tours of Falmouth, where using storytelling to try and paint a picture of how this place used to be.
And how long have you been up and running?
This is my third year.
Yeah.
It's my own thing. Started doing it just after COVID, the lockdowns, and this year it seems to have hit its stride.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
I guess you're out and about anyway.
Yes, indeed.
And meeting lots of interesting people.
Indeed, such as yourself. Yes.
So cheers, thanks a lot anyway. Have a good day.
Thank you.
But still, quite a notable house. But for our purposes, we're interested in it because the family that lived there for most of its history was so absurdly interesting. We could talk about them for 90 minutes easily. I'll give you the greatest hits. Basically, the family were called the Killigrews, and they'd started off fairly boringly. They lived here, they hunted, they ate, they did whatever the nobility did. But then this castle got built on their land. That is somewhat distracting. This castle got built on their land, and, it's the king's castle, but they were told, well, I guess you can run it. It's on your doorstep, and it became a sort of hereditary position. If you were the head of the Killigrew family here, you would have control of Pendennis Castle. Now, it's quite a nice thing to have a private castle. It gives you, of course, direct control over the harbour here. And it gives you a level of control and power over the open sea at a time when the open seas were full of Spanish treasure ships. This is when Spain was looting the living daylights out of South America. So silver was pouring across the Atlantic. The Netherlands at this point was Spanish, and so a lot of Spanish ships going up the English Channel. And so it was, of course, the golden age of English and I guess Cornish piracy. And the really amusing thing was the Killigrew family, despite living here as sort of gentry, nobility, the establishment, they became filthy, stinking pirates. Yes, it's a really good start to a walking tour. It couldn't be better, really. But I used it with pirates. Strictly speaking, they were privateers. I don't know if you know the difference. A privateer is basically a legal pirate. The Crown says, yes, my good fellow, you have permission to kill and rob citizens of this country. And so John Killigrew, the head of the household, if you were standing on this spot, you would see him striding out of here with his sons, looking mean, I imagine, and pretty martial. I imagine a sword strapped to him and whatever piratey tropes you want to add to him. And they would sail out, and they would kill, and they would rob, and they were good at it. That's the nice thing, is the Killigrews took to this life. They rebuilt the whole house with the proceeds. They started funding other privateers. They started having them here for banquets. Some of them stored their loot here. This was the headquarters of a sort of fairly big puritanical enterprise.
The Godfather.
Yes, indeed. Oh, I love The Godfather. So, has anyone seen the Barbie film? There's a bit where it makes there's a bit where it makes fun of men that like explaining how good The Godfather is. It's like, oh god, that landed.
So Barbie wasn't the Godfather.
I've seen the Barbie film.
It's really good.
It's
on the,
different.
it's not the film you think it is. It's got a philosophical depth.
Yeah.
I saw Oppenheimer last night, and I would probably say Barbie was my preferred film. So, and I enjoyed Oppenheimer a lot. So yes, I didn't expect to sphere off the Killigrews onto the Barbie movie. That's a bit of a first, but yes. Anyway, the reason The Godfather is a masterpiece is because but yes, John Killigrew, the head of the criminal enterprise, and was kind of within the arm of the law because he was a privateer. There were periods of peace, however, when there would be peace, and this wasn't allowed anymore. But down here in Cornwall, as you've all found out, you're a long way from everywhere else. So John Killigrew would just carry on, really, and he would take that small but significant step from sort of legal privateer to being a fully illegal pirate. And he did spend 3 weeks in prison in London as a consequence.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
But it's not, you can do 3 weeks, can't you? It's not the end of the world, it's a slap on the wrist. He came out, he came home, he carried on. And I think you get the sense of John Killigrew that he walked a lot of lines. He walked the line between legality and illegality, and generally mostly got away with it because the Crown found it useful just to turn a blind eye to what he was up to. He walked the line between danger and opportunity, and he always managed to come out smelling of roses. I mean, if you look on the map, there's a nice detail here where there's a wall, a palisade going all the way around modern Falmouth, along the seafront. The whole area is fortified, because this wasn't lovely Cornwall somewhere for your summer holiday. This was Cornwall, the front line of this maritime struggle with Spain. This was a dangerous place. The Spanish tried to blow up the house on one occasion with gunpowder. They got spotted and they ran away, and that was the end of that. But Yes, John Killigrew lived life on the edge, but he died a wealthy, successful, still fairly respectable man somehow. His son took over, John II. Now, John II was like his father in lots of ways, but was more sociopathic. I used to spend quite a lot of breath trying to express John II's character, but the word sociopathic sums it up. He was an absolute terror. He married a lady called Mary Wolverston, the daughter of an East Anglian privateer. She was the perfect partner for John II, because she was just as bad as he was. She was a direct participant in his criminal enterprises. There's a very famous story of a time where a Spanish ship called the Maria of San Sebastian was blown into this harbour by a storm during a time of peace. And we know for a fact that the Killigrews invited the captain and the officers in for food over there. And as they were eating, the Killigrews men raided the ship, killed the sailors and robbed it from top to bottom. Now that is history. The story is that she led the raid, Mary Killigrew. There's a tunnel apparently that ran down from the house to the waterside. I'm very cynical about tunnels in Falmouth. Everyone goes, you know, there's a tunnel running from there to there and it was used by smugglers, and I'm always like, yeah, whatever. But Simon that lives here still, he's convinced there is still a tunnel in the grounds if you thought had a go. But apparently she went down the tunnel, participated in this bloody raid, went up the tunnel, put her dress back on and resumed the party, is how the story is told. That bit may be not true, but she had to go to London and answer for this crime in front of Elizabeth I herself. You can read the court documents in London in the National Archives. This is very much history. She got a pardon from Elizabeth I, two of her sort of servants got executed. So, but yes, she sort of got away with it. She came back, and she was a pretty ferocious figure to the end of her life. But anyway, John II, he died reasonably young. His son took over, John III, less piratey, but he did, at the time of the Spanish Armada, try and betray the castle, allegedly, to the Spanish.
30 years of culture and the arts as a free service on Love Summertime TV. Don't forget to friend and share my videos, subscribe to my channel and support me through PayPal at tcsphoto1@gmail.com. Thanks for watching the video. It's